So God put a great idea on your mind to develop a product or a service. And it's an excellent idea. You want to do it, it may reach a bunch of people and share the gospel at the same time. But what to do and how to start this journey of building a product or service, putting it on the market, and being successful? Let's hear what Jesse Swicker, the founder of Hyve, has to tell us about this topic.
So we get a lot of these people in our community. In the Hyve community, we have thousands of Adventists that are trying to start businesses. And we have a lot of learnings on what to do and also what not to do, because there's some myths really out there that make people go wrong or make people invest a lot of time and a lot of money into something that is not going to work. So one typical myth is that basically says, if I build it, they'll come, right? And they just think that just because you create a good product, you build a good idea, and you put it on the website, or you a software developer, they just create this thing, and then they think this is going to be a hit, and then they're surprised that nothing takes off, and it's like, oh, I only got like 2 people by accident show up on my website, and no sales and so forth. And it takes often years, right, for something to take off. So that's really a big myth. It's not true. At least half of your work is actually to go and sell the product, is to go and market. So we often don't spend enough time actually getting it out there and getting in front of the people. A startup doesn't just happen. Silicon Valley and also our community, basically the only startups that really take off are the ones where the founders make it happen. So the founder, you have to make it happen. You're the one that has to be there and go out there and talk to people and get the partnerships. And every partnership out there, it's not because they want to partner with you. They'd be fine partnering with you. But if you don't push the thing, the partnership doesn't happen. So it really means like it's you that needs to make it happen. So just by building it, it's not going to work. It's building it and then really promoting it. It's like half. Actually, one of our recent speakers, Ruben Diaz at the Hyve convention, he mentioned, he spends 3 times the amount on selling, on his marketing budget than in the production budget. So and obviously that doesn't apply to all businesses, but the idea is it really needs to be on, you need to be getting this in front of people, otherwise it's not going to take off. So that's a really important one. The other one is that also holds a lot of people back is it takes a lot of, business planning, you need to write this extensive thesis on whether this business will work or not. And then also you need money. Most people, they come to us and they say, hey, I have this idea, I want to get going, but I don't have money. And me as small business investor or any of our community that invests into any of these small businesses, they basically say, if you can't make your business go without any money, then you will not be able to get it to go with money. So it's by demonstrating that you can get stuff done without any money or hardly any money that actually you can take it to the next level, even if you have funds. So and also and the other one is this preparation thing. Big, large business plans. That's like old school. I'm not against it, but to get money from the banks, they will need a business plan. But in the venture capital world, to fundraise, you don't need a business plan usually. You do need to understand your numbers, but really there's a much faster and simpler way to get to the most relevant questions, which is really more like the pitch deck development, which we have a training on our website that you can take for free, and the templates and so forth. But this is really important, that you don't need to spend weeks and weeks and months planning this thing out. You need to do a little bit of desktop research. You need to go out of your office. We call it get out of the office and go talk to some users, go talk to some people and get feedback so that you can craft your idea. But that's a few days, not more than that, because otherwise you just postpone. And as Reid Hoffman says, if you're not terribly embarrassed at the first version of your product when you launch too late. So basically, you got to launch early and fast, and this is essentially how you can, just get moving and start building the product together with your customers, right? With your first early adopters,
Because that's like another thing, right? Like sometimes we think that because I had an idea and I think it's great, I think it's the perfect idea.
Absolutely. Actually, 99% of all products that are created in our minds, once they hit the market, it dies. So it's really almost impossible for us to really just because we have an idea and we think it's great, does not mean that customers are going to buy that. So really bringing the customer into the process of morphing whatever that idea is that we have into something that then they actually think is valuable is vitally important. Otherwise, it will die. So
that's basically the whole point of starting early, just to launch something, get feedback, and start modifying that product until it's like market fit.
That's right. So be embarrassed, send it out.
See what happens.
Get your first customers. That's the hardest part, and then work with them to really refine your product. That's right. So there's another one that it's related to this, and that is, we think of our startup, we think of it like a small version of an established business. And there's nothing further from the truth, okay? Because the way a big business operates is totally different, because they already have validated products and markets and, HR and finances and, innovation budgets and stuff. A small startup does not have any of that time or resources to be able to do any of that. Actually, they don't even have a product that is validated, right? So really, the best way to understand what you're doing as a startup is not to consider your startup as a company, but to consider it as basically a temporary organization to test and find product market fit. That's the idea. So it's really about designing a temporary organization that allows you to test everything you can as fast as possible, measure everything as fast as possible, so that you can iterate and improve and eventually come out with a product that then you can build a company around. So we don't establish a company from day one. The idea is really you're just building a temporary organization, and everything you do, the logo, the price, your marketing channels, your target audience, everything you do is a test.
Okay, so basically we could say that a startup is an experimental lab.
It's an experimental lab.
And if you find success, you create a company on it.
Exactly. Okay, cool. So you're trying to, it's a lab. That's the perfect word for it. You're just testing all the time, finding out, is this really the best product out there to solve this problem, right? And every product out there is there to solve a certain problem. So oftentimes we have this, especially as Christians and Adventists, we come up with this, what we call a CISP in the startup world. It's called a CISP. CISP is a solution in search of a problem, right? Okay. That's a CISP. So we think, I want to start a vegan restaurant, Why? Because it's cool, right? But and so I asked them, what problem are you trying to solve, I hadn't thought about that. It's like, well, yes, that's a solution in search of a problem, you know?
Yeah.
So if you want to start a YouTube channel, or if you want to start whatever you want to start, like it doesn't matter what it is, but always start with the problem first. And then try to ideate solutions around that problem. What's the most effective solution to solve that problem? Because otherwise we tend to fall in love with the solution.
Yeah.
Oh, the vegan restaurant, like it's cool, you know, to have a vegan. Well, that's not how we do successful businesses. So successful businesses really are more based around a problem, and they're trying to solve a problem in a certain way. And it could be that it's a wellness center, but it could also be that it's an online course that doesn't cost you $1 million to buy a big property and to try to test this product. But you can just start an online course, a coaching program, even a live coaching program. I mean, whatever it is, right? So there's different ways to solve that same problem. Oh, okay, I want to solve cancer, like Heartland, you know?
Yeah.
I want to solve the cancer problem. Okay, so what are the best ways to solve that problem? And so we don't get stuck on, no, I want to do a lifestyle center. You know what I mean? Or I want to do what? No. God is in the business of trying to solve all the people's problems out there and reach them and show that he cares about them through these products, right? So this is really the big picture of why we're doing startups, is we really want to help alleviate all this pain and suffering that is out there that is making people's lives miserable and painful and not enjoyable, right? Because God wants to help these people. So this is the better view. And so we start from the problem and then we ideate solutions. And then if the solution at some point is not relevant anymore, it doesn't matter, because we're still focused on solving the problem. We're not focused on doing Kodak pictures, even though, you know, the digitization changed the need. Well, the problem is actually still the same. So if Kodak had identified the problem that they were trying to solve, they could have transformed. But they went bankrupt, you know, in 2012 because of this, that they were so in love with the solution that they missed
the opportunity of
solving the problem in a more effective way, right? So I think there's a lot of lessons for us to learn on how to start startups with just keeping these things in mind. You don't need a lot of money. You don't need a lot of preparation. You need to launch as soon as possible. You know, we have the 3 S's of what we call mission work, right? Start simple, start small, and start soon, right?
Cool.
Let's just do that, and you'll find success in the process if you continually are open and don't settle for this is the pricing, or this is the website, or this is the brand, this is the logo, this is the marketing. No, just continue to iterate, continue to improve, and you will find success in the process of going through this phase.
That's so cool, because at the end, if I have an idea, now at least we know the basic steps of the things that, or how we should be thinking on how to proceed with that idea. Right. So if I want to know more, if they want to know more, or if they want to get trained, is there a way to get trained? Or with Hyve, does Hyve has something?
Yeah. So we've gotten this for a number of years. So we started the Hyve Business School, which is basically the Adventist startup community of all the Adventist startups out there that are wanting to launch their business within the next 6 months to a year.
Okay. Cool.
So, and there's, money back guarantee, all of this stuff to really help. We are excited about helping people get launched. Okay. And if it's not successful, no strings attached. So we really want to help everyone just go through that difficult phase of testing their hypothesis, of trying to figure out what is the best product, what is the best market, what's the best channels, all of these things. And And what we've learned is I wish 10 years ago, somebody had given me this kind of a resource when I went through my first startup and had to go, and I spent years trying to figure it out, because I didn't have the network. I didn't have other people, experts and mentors to be able to help me through this whole process. I wasted thousands of dollars and years of time simply because I didn't have this community around me that wanted to even buy my product, to test it out and give me feedback and so forth. Cool. So we're really building this, there's hundreds of people that are in this community that are starting their business, that are helping to improve your idea, and you help improve their idea. So it's really a community focused.
So this is online, right?
Online. You can access it anywhere. Go to the website. It's on the link as well.
Yeah, links in the description below. Everything's going to be there.
So you can just go there and learn about it, get all the details, and join the community. I'm there sometimes. I'm helping different startups get going, and we have other people, other consultants that are doing this full time. They're just helping all of these startups get off the ground. So if you have an idea, don't get discouraged, get excited. We want to help you solve the world's most pressing problems with missional entrepreneurship. Let's do mission, let's do business, great business, but also for a greater purpose.
Remember, start simple, small, and soon. So head right now to the Hyve Business School, link in the description below. God bless.